Hello, it is Sarah Waggle, astrologer and leadership coach here for this Moon Astrology Tarot. We are in the now waning moon in Libra. So the moon's going to start getting darker. And this whole week, because the transit happens at the end of the moon in Libra, heading into the moon in Scorpio, which if you've been following me for a while, you know moons in Scorpio are my favorite. Okay, so this moon in Libra is the 26th through, hold on, because I forgot. I think it's the 26th through the 28th. Hang on. Yep. So the 26th through the 28th of February. And of course, too, we know that the South Node is in Libra. And so relationships are changing. Every time the moon hits the South Node, it's going to potentially bring about change or renegotiation in a relationship, or letting go of how you behave in a relationship, or something to that effect. And then on the 28th, we have the Saturn Mercury cazimi. So it's a conjunction, or meaning three cosmic bodies coming together. And it's going to be Mercury, the Sun, and Saturn. So this is when Mercury conjuncts the Sun or does a cazimi, 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 with the Sun, or in the heart of the Sun. So Mercury is going to collect some light codes. Saturn's going to collect some light codes. Saturn's also going to the next decan, or the next 10 degrees of Pisces. So we know that each zodiac sign has 30 degrees, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, and 20 to 29. And so this conjunction is happening at 9 degrees. So just at the end of the first decan of Pisces. And so what does this all look like? Well, Mercury moving forward, Mercury is mind, it's mindset, it's communication, those sorts of things. So it's going to collect messages or light codes from the Sun and send it to our mindset. Saturn is going to send us on the next level up of the Saturn and Pisces journey, because as Saturn continues to move through Pisces, I think it gets to 19 degrees this year before it goes retrograde. And then we'll have that. So if you're feeling buzzy, like can't calm down, super just nerves, feeling a little frayed. I know there's a lot of health issues happening for some folks. I've been, getting calls and messages and people reaching out like, what's going on? So we not only have all this astrological activity going on, and by the way, this is what it's like when all planets go direct. We've had planets all direct since the end of January, when Uranus went direct. And we are going to be in full steam ahead, all planets direct, until, April 1st actually would be when Mercury goes retrograde for the first time in 2024. But it won't be until the beginning, Pluto goes retrograde in May, and then it won't be till the end of June before we'll start to see Saturn and Neptune turn retrograde. So if you're loving the ride, enjoying the ride of buzzy energy and feeling like you can just full steam ahead, get projects done, up level your projects, up level your work, create new things, blah, blah, blah. You've got a few more months of this. However, if you're not enjoying this, if it's going too fast, if it's oh my God, what's actually happening in this world, then hang on tight, because it's not over. It's far from over. And this year is confusing as hell, because it's a kind of one of those, it's that like middle year between like what happened from 2019 to 2023, or even before 2019, like everything happened in our lives before 2019, 2020 to 2023 was like one. And now we're kind of in that bridge year that's going to lead into the next part of the 2020s decade and beyond, of course, because on a larger, grander scale, we are in the middle of a 150 or so year transformation or evolution of not only humanity, but the planet Earth that we live on. And so it's not only our generation, or the current generations on the planet that are going to experience this, but generations after us are going to also experience this. I know this sounds very exciting to some people, and to other people, you're probably like, oh God, it's never going to calm down. Nope, it's not. And I don't think that Uranus goes retrograde until September, maybe August. Jupiter won't go retrograde, I think September, October. And so we're in kind of like this up, I want to say uppity, but that's not the right word. Upward flow or upward momentum. There we go. That's better. Upward flow, upward momentum energy. And we're getting lots and lots of downloads from all kinds of directions, right? I would love to like pinpoint one place where we're getting downloads, but I don't think it's true. I think earlier this year, we had all the personal planets cross the galactic center at 27 degrees of Sagittarius. And then now we're going to have all these personal planets move through Pisces, which will then form a square with the galactic center eventually at 27 degrees. But you know, now we're getting this cazimi moment. We've had Pluto move into Aquarius. We've had all the personal planets hanging out in Aquarius. That was a lot of Aquarius energy. I'll even admit that. And so we're getting lots of things from lots of different directions. So here's the thing. It doesn't stop. It's not going to stop. In fact, it's actually building. I know that's kind of like impossible to believe, but it's building to the not only the lunar eclipse on March 25th, but the solar eclipse on April 8th is really the doozy. And then we have another couple of April transits that are doozies as well. And so, like I've said so many times, regulating your nervous system. I can tell you, I talk to people, we've been doing this work for, you know, some of us I've been doing this work for 12 years in the coaching and personal development industry before I shifted into adding astrology and energy work. But even people who've been doing this work for 5 years are experiencing, you know, headaches or just lack of being able to get grounded. And so, and therefore you're feeling like your systems are just buzzy and they're floaty and dreamy, and Pisces is dreamy and floaty. It's the, you know, so it's a matter of really, again, like I've said with so many videos recently, it's like being very intentional with your tasks, what physically needs to get done, and trying not to get lost in the weeds of everything that's going on in the world, everything that's going on with other people. I just, let's just say y'all are not alone. I'm, you know, none of us is exempt from this crazy. But it is building. It's also the universe sort of up leveling you, like inviting you, or maybe this, I feel like there needs to be a stronger word than inviting, because the universe is like reaching out a hand, like to pull you through the the passageway to the next level. So like, and I'm not always like the most tactful person. So if you work with me one-to-one, like you probably know this more than you would see it on these videos, but like I'm not always most tactful person in the world. But it's also because I see people's potential and I'm always just like, please shine your freaking light. Please share it with the rest of us that you have a creative skill, a talent, a dream, a mission. What is it? Please share it with us. And I feel like the universe is like tapped into that frequency of energy right now. It's like, okay, yes, I get it. You're a wounded human. We all are. I understand. We all go through all of the things, right? I'm, you know, back in my hometown dealing with family things. So obviously there's stuff there. But I can also mute my phone. I can also wait to respond to the text message until after I get content done, or I get videos done, or I look at the charts, or whatever it is I'm up to. I can also practice editing things in a different way. And if that means shutting off TikTok or shutting off whatever, shutting off the TV, maybe it's the audiobook, whatever it is, right? Like, these are me. This is me. So if this is resonating with you too, then you're in my world. You're in my frequency. But sometimes it's like being able to say, like, I cannot handle social media today. Like, I literally can't handle absorbing any more content. I can't handle absorbing any more audiobook, any more peopling, and all of that. And literally, or even like conscientiously, intentionally saying, I need to go lay down and listen to some soundscape music, some ASMR, some whatever it is, because my body is just not okay right now. And so we have solar energy happening. We've got, cosmic energy happening, and it's a lot. And it doesn't have to completely upset your cherry wagon. Is that how it goes? Your cherry wagon, your cherry bug? I don't remember, but do you know what I'm talking about? I'm thinking about, like, isn't there upset your apple? I don't remember how that went, but whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to upset you or your mission or your priorities that you don't get them done. And so, anyway, so it's a lot. I completely get it. And it's going to continue to be a lot. Like I said, it's building now. It's in full on build up, until this solar eclipse on April 8th. That is going to be visible through a large chunk of northeastern America, the northeastern United States, the Midwest, obviously Texas. And so we definitely have some areas to be concerned about. I wouldn't say concerned, but like be keeping our attention at. I know historically in my region, the last time we experienced crisscrossing solar eclipses, such that we are this year, that's crisscrossing the eclipse from 2017. There were lots of earthquakes in my region. So there's that. We have things going on in Texas, with our border, and, being conscientious Americans about that. And what is the situation, and how is it really affecting our country? I have opinions, obviously, but I try to keep these things a little bit. This is why I don't talk about a lot of geopolitical stuff, because I'm opinionated. But I think from an Aquarius standpoint, we need to think about the people. And also, if you think about Pisces, where the sun's at right now, Pisces struggles with borders or having boundaries, right? If you've been around a Pisces person, they may not have boundaries. So they may like tell you all of their life history. But Aquarius, kind of all that energy still in Aquarius, is kind of that reminder that, like, okay, we need to have some boundaries, because the people must be able to be resourced to reach their highest potential. So if you think about that with regards to borders and boundaries, yes, there's kindness and there's overgiving. A lot of us, especially those of us in the service provider realm of things, like, we can overgive, right? And spread ourselves too thin, and therefore, create this exhaustion or burnout, or max out our resources. Choosing my words super careful, but I think y'all understand where I'm going with this. If you've been following me for a minute, if you can read between the lines. This is no different in the situation that's happening with, you can have a boarding house, but you've got to have a capacity or a cap limit on how many you can let in. Okay, I'm gonna stop with that, because I do think that like we need to help each other out and all these things, but I also think that there's a cap limit of resources available. And the other part of this is I'm not having that issue in my community, so I don't actually, but I know people who are. And um what are we putting on the line as far as safety and security to our families? Like if you're owning a boarding house, for example, and your family lives in the boarding house, and you let in, boarders without a background check, how's that go? Think about it like an employer who hires people without a background check, or a apartment building that lets residents in without a background check. Like, you run the risk of things happening. Okay. So I don't know where all that came from. That all kind of came out of me today. I don't know what's up with that. Holy cow. We got the death card upright. Tasha Yar. Damn. Damn. Okay, let me say why I'm saying damn. This is not like death as in somebody's gonna die. Doesn't mean somebody won't die, but this is not what this card represents ever. And at least not in how I read tarot. What this tells me is that with the moon crossing the path with the south node, and therefore opposite the north node in Aries, and with the Saturn Mercury Cazimi conjunction, triple conjunction, that some part of you, this is where we get to say something to the effect of you have to let go of or sacrifice the good in order to have the great, right? So you got to let something go, whether that is a mindset shift, a belief system, whatever this is for you. Maybe it's like a behavioral pattern or whatever. Like, you got to quit, like, you got to let go of something in order to have the greater thing. Like, content creation is freaking tedious. Like, getting different things, pieces, parts together. Like, I have a friend who's redoing all of her cover photos for one of her projects, and it's like over 300 cover photos that she's redoing. And I don't know if y'all have ever recreated cover photos, but those things are a bitch. But like, she's got to do the thing and go through the muck of doing that to up level her presentation. Same with me and my videos. To get where I want to go with my video production, I have to do tedious things, right? To up level. So you got to crawl through some muck. Something's got to give. You got to, like, okay, if I'm going to take the time to do that, then maybe I can't watch 4 episodes of whatever show I'm watching. We'll say Star Trek, because that's what I talk about every day. I do these videos. You can't watch 4 episodes of Star Trek. You gotta only watch 2, because you need those other hours to, right? Like, think about it, okay? If you're watching the end of season 4 of Star Trek Voyager, and you are getting to the second to last episode, which is worst case scenario, and you're heading into Scorpion, which is a season finale that leads to a part 2, you kind of know the episode before last, the worst case scenario episode, or even if you're watching what the hell was the episode before Best of Both Worlds on Next Gen, right? You're at the episode before that. Maybe you shouldn't watch the episode before that, because you know the episode after that is Best of Both Worlds, and that's a 2-hour episode, and you don't have time to do you understand what I'm saying here? Like, be conscientious. If you finish reading a chapter in a book, don't go on to the next chapter, because you know you got to put effort into, up leveling your projects, your creations, however that shows up for you. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that like completely resonates, because we can all get lost in the 2 to 3 parter episodes of a show, and before we know it, like, it's time to go to sleep or whatever, or go to work or whatever, and you didn't get your project done. So you got to be like intentional to, like, okay, I want to watch Best of Both Worlds. I want to watch Scorpion, but I know I have to do this project tomorrow, so I need extra rest, or I need to take the time to do the project. Okay, I kind of ranted on that a bit, but I think that's how this works. Like that was such a like entertainment example, but it can go in any way where like you give up one thing that you think is fun and cool because you really want to up level something else. So, all right. I like the death card. It is a hard card to digest, but I think it's a lot of tarot readers read it like it's like somebody's like there's going to be a literal death, but no, this is actually like a transformative ego death, right? Or a death and rebirth of up leveling yourself and your life, your projects, and all of that. What's your true mission? And are you actually doing it? Or are you just coming up with all kinds of reasons why you can't do it? I'm just as guilty of that, by the way. It's taken me 12 years to write this book that I'm currently writing. So I'm here with you. Don't ever think that I am exempt from the shit that I talk about because I'm not. Okay. I decided to do the woodland because I like this deck. We got the elk and ash, and it says strength. The elk and ash. Okay, strength. Okay, I like this because I think I've talked about me following the bow hunters before, and I think some of them do hunt elk. But the elk and ash, am I sure that's ash? Let me make sure I'm reading that correctly. Hold on. Yeah, it says elk and ash, and the word on the card is strength. And I think this is like having the strength, we're still heavily working with the Aquarius, Leo axis. And so I think like having the strength to tell yourself that you're going to commit to the next level up, having the strength to actually do it, having the strength to tell your friends and your family, nope, I can't get together today or tonight or whatever. I can't go drink. I can't go, I can't go play games today or whatever because I need to work on my project. I really need to execute this project. And I think having the strength, and that's hard because we want to be social and we want to hang out with our peeps, but if you really want that project done and you really feel in your heart, soul, your gut, your being that you need to do that project, like that's how I feel about this book, is that and even doing these videos, like I feel it in my body that like I have to do do this. So, and yes, I am in full on writing mode right now, and it's kind of fun. I have to admit, writing this book is kind of fun because, and I think like just some of the stuff I've experienced lately with other people, like feeding the writing drive to get more writing done. So let's see what's in the oils. Obviously, the grounding stuff, taking some time to lay quietly in the dark and listening to soundscape music has been my jam lately. Cinnamon. Yep, protects and regulates. Oh, imagine that. Have I been talking about this whole video? It's protecting and regulating. Yeah, cinnamon. If you're into chai teas, chai tea would be good. Cinnamon is good. You can also use cinnamon as like you can put like cinnamon sticks around your house to like protect the energy of your space. Maybe you want to look into some feng shui of where to place things so that you're feeling protected. I think clear quartz falls into, or even black tourmaline falls into the same category. I know there's things you can do like at the thresholds of your doors with cinnamon to bring in abundance, and or as protection, so you just don't let in dark energies. and whatnot, and there could be things like having a cleansing process when you come into your home or come into your space, of just like, how do do you stop at your door and take some deep breaths to kind of like leave the energy of the world outside of your home space so that your home kind of becomes your sanctuary, and whatnot. So I definitely think there's a lot to do with like having your own, like, not only home armor, protective armor around your home, but around your body being your home. So anyway, that's what I got for this moon in Libra, kind of lengthy. I realize these are getting longer, but I feel like there's just tons to talk about. And I also don't hear any complaints. So I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep saying what needs to be said. And so, be really aware around this 28th, 27th, 28th. And we'll get into the Scorpio moon in the next video. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. I am trying to get better about leaving the links below for previous videos that might be of good reference, including that 2024 practical tools video. And also making, trying to get the links below for the new and full moon horoscopes or forecasts so that you have those as well. Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate you tuning in and all of that. I know things are crazy and I'm gonna be here for it. I'm gonna be here for it. I've been promising you, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna be here to support y'all through it. And so, I mean, this is craziness, but this is what we all signed up for. And I'm personally kind of enjoying the ride, honestly. Okay, talk to you next time. Bye.